And now to the question that people have wondered for days. Who will be the winner of Super Bowl 49 according to your DJ Crazy Tom? Well, this is probably the hardest assignment I've ever come up with because this is as evenly matched of a Super Bowl as you can possibly get. The Patriots, who I did predict would make the Super Bowl back in August, against a Seahawks team that is looking to repeat and become the first team to repeat as Super Bowl champions since the New England Patriots of 2003 and 04, when they won Super Bowls 38 and 39 respectively. And I'm looking at this game as two evenly offensive matchup teams and two very good defenses that are going to be playing against each other. I think if you were to give a slight edge, I would say New England on offense and a slight edge to Seattle on the defense. The cornerback play is going to be absolutely enormous because you have the Patriots, who of course have Darrelle Revis in his first Super Bowl. Then, of course, Seattle has Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor, and you got Earl Thomas and a bunch of others on defense. I mean, you have so many intriguing angles to this game. You have basically the fact that both teams are coming off some sort of controversy. Yes, New England coming off being known as the Deflatriots, following the, shall we say, the deflated ball thing that followed a few hours after the AFC Championship game when the Patriots won 45-7 over the Indianapolis Colts. And of course, the Patriots had won 35-31 over the Baltimore Ravens the week before, as their road to Super Bowl 49 has been pretty much set for them. They haven't even left Boston since, I would say, mid to late December. Even their last home game of the year was at home against Buffalo, and it turned out to be a meaningless game anyway. Seattle, meanwhile, of course, they've had home cooking since late December too. They win the NFC West. They get the number one seed after rallying to defeat the St. Louis Rams. Then in the divisional playoff, they defeat Carolina 31-17. And then, of course, that dramatic come-from-behind win over Green Bay 28-22 in extra time to get them back into Super Bowl 49. Now, I really think you have to look at this game a bunch of different ways. Number one, we have a couple good defenses. You're probably going to be able to hold the offenses at bay. But how much? I don't know. You have an official whom is doing his first Super Bowl. I forget his name, but I do know that this man has made an incredible comeback. He, in fact, had to have an aortic valve surgery a few years ago and had to work to get himself back into officiating shape, and now he's actually doing a Super Bowl. And I'm sure you're going to hear Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth talk about that official, who is probably one of the best officials in the game and deserved for a Super Bowl opportunity. I really don't know which way to go in this one. I've said this for a long time in regards to who's going to win this game. I mean, you're looking at the Patriots, who of course have been to so many Super Bowls. As a matter of fact, they have tied the Steelers and the Cowboys now for most Super Bowl appearances with 8. And then you, of course, have the Seahawks in their third Super Bowl. Now, looking back, the Patriots are 3-4 in Super Bowl appearances, while Seattle is 1-1 thus far. New England, believe it or not, they have the distinction of being the only team in NFL history to lose Super Bowls in 4 different decades. I'll explain. New England lost their first appearance in New Orleans against the Chicago Bears in Super Bowl 20, 46-10. Then they came back to New Orleans in 1997 for Super Bowl 31 against the Green Bay Packers, lost 35-21 to Brett Favre and Desmond Howard. Then they ended up winning 3 straight. Their next 3 appearances were wins: Super Bowl 36, also in New Orleans, when the Patriots won on the final play of the game on an Adam Vinatieri field goal, 20-17 over the St. Louis Rams. Then Super Bowl 38, a late field goal by Vinatieri. Again, the Patriots defeated the Panthers 32-29 in Super Bowl 38, the infamous boobgate/wardrobe malfunction that was supposed to happen to help the FCC. I can get into that and what drives me crazy, save me another time. Super Bowl 39, the Patriots win over the Eagles, I think it was 24-21, the game where Donovan McNabb got sick in the fourth quarter. And then the Patriots lost the last 2, both to the Giants. Super Bowl 42, when their unbeaten run was ended, and I still think it was the most scripted Super Bowl in history, when the Giants defeated the Patriots 17-14 in Arizona. And now, of course, their last appearance was 3 years ago when the Patriots lost to those same Giants 21-17. Now, as for the Seahawks, they've only been in 2 Super Bowls. They're 1-1. They lost the first one, Super Bowl 40, by a count 21-10 to Pittsburgh in Detroit. Probably what I call the worst Super Bowl officiated game in NFL history. And of course, last year, not too far from here at MetLife Stadium, Seattle destroyed Denver 43-8 for their first Super Bowl championship. Now, consider this. This has been a playoff season of screw jobs. Both teams have been on the wrong side of screw jobs in Super Bowls before. Seattle, of course, in Super Bowl 40 against the Steelers with the horrendous officiating. Yeah, and remember this. This was the game where Ben Roethlisberger supposedly scored a touchdown, and the officials gave it to him even though he never crossed the plane. And then 2 years later, the Patriots being screwed in Super Bowl 42 because they were playing the Giants. That's all you need to know. And of course, I'm dropping 3 interceptions on the final drive, and then that Tyree catch, the catch 42, whatever you want to call it, Manning to David Tyree. To me, that was all improv script. It was supposed to happen. So what do we do about this particular Super Bowl? I really do believe that it is going to come down to the defense. Do not be surprised at this. Now, there have been 2 things that have never happened in Super Bowl history. Number 1, there was never a Super Bowl shutout. And number 2, there's never been a Super Bowl to go to extra time. Of course, the closest was Super Bowl 36. And then the closest shutout in Super Bowl history came in Super Bowl 6 when the Cowboys defeated the Dolphins 24-3. But let's also not forget that the Redskins came very close to being shut out in Super Bowl 7 against the Miami Dolphins. And then the Giants in Super Bowl 35 got a second-half touchdown to abort a shutout against Baltimore. Now, of course, Denver last year aborted a shutout in the third quarter against Seattle, but it was all to no avail. There has never been a losing team with a goose egg in 48 Super Bowls. This one, I really think this will be the first to go to extra time. And as a matter of fact, the way the NFL has been so dramatic, there could be 2 extra frames in this particular Super Bowl. I think when it's all said and done, it's going to come down to which team gets screwed at the worst possible time. Think about this. New England got screwed after Spygate. It may be poetic justice. Now you get Deflategate to happen. Will they be screwed again? We don't know. But in the NFC playoffs in 2014, think about this. Detroit got screwed out of a couple calls against the Cowboys. The Cowboys, in turn, the next week, got screwed out of a couple of huge calls against the Green Bay Packers. The Packers end up getting screwed on a couple calls against Seattle, and on top of which, couldn't field an onside kick, which cost the special teams coach his job just a couple of days ago. Is it Seattle's turn to get screwed? Well, I look at it this way. This could be the final opportunities on both sides. As far as organizations are run, the Seahawks do a very nice job. But for the last 15 to 20 years, the New England Patriots have been the model run franchise in the NFL. They've been to 7 Super Bowls in the last 20 years. That's really saying something. There's a reason why they're that good. There's a reason why Belichick has been so good and why Tom Brady is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. To me, this is Brady's last Super Bowl. But whether he wins or loses the Super Bowl, I don't think is going to make a difference as far as his legacy is concerned. For Seattle, think about it this way. They win the Super Bowl last year. They lose 11 players to free agency and or retirement, and now they're back in the Super Bowl. If they win this Super Bowl, I guarantee you those late round picks that have been so instrumental to the Seahawks' success, they will be gone because they will want to get paid in the offseason. Based on that difference, I say in a game that probably goes almost 5 quarters, in extra time for the first time, Seattle 20, New England 17. It's going to be a much better Super Bowl than the dud that happened last year at MetLife Stadium. hopefully Glendale is ready for what will be a phenomenal Super Bowl 49. From your DJ Crazy Tom, remember, enjoy the game. And one more thing before I leave, remember, Super Bowl Sunday is also the Sunday and basically the day in which you have the most domestic violence cases. Please stay away from that statistic no matter who you are. Be kind and love one another. Enjoy the game with each other. Enjoy the company. Don't get mad at somebody else, especially if it's your significant other. Don't be a domestic violence statistic for Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy the game, everyone, and I'll be talking about it on What Drives Me Crazy segment later this week.